Because of why I search the deep through endless nights, no time to sleep. The call inside I can't deny. I'll find the light because of why.
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are tackling a really interesting question, one you see pop up online all the time. How is it that the currency of a pretty small country, Kuwait, is the most valuable in the entire world? Well, the answer is this fascinating mix of oil, some really smart strategy, and a little bit of myth-busting. All right, so let me just ask you right off the bat. If you had to guess the world's most valuable currency, what would you say? The US dollar, right? Or maybe the British pound? The euro? I mean, that's what most people would think, but the truth is actually pretty surprising. Yep, it's the Kuwaiti Dinar. A single dinar is worth more than $3. Just to put that into perspective, it's way more valuable per unit than even the British pound. And it's this huge price tag that gets everyone so curious. Okay, but here's where we get to the real heart of the issue. Does having a high price tag actually mean you're the most powerful or important currency on the world stage? Not necessarily. And that's the big misunderstanding we're going to clear up today. This is really where you see all the debates firing up online. People tend to use words like valuable and powerful as if they're the same thing when they talk about money. But in the world of economics, they are two totally different concepts.
You know, I saw this comment online that just hits the nail on the head. It said, it's the most expensive currency, not the strongest. And that right there perfectly sets up what we need to dig into.
All right, let's get into it. To really get why Kuwait's situation is so unique, we need a quick little crash course on what gives any currency its value in the first place. So, at its very core, it's all about good old supply and demand. It's simple, right? If tons of people around the globe need a specific currency for trade or investing, well, the demand for it goes way up. On the flip side, if a central bank starts printing too much money, the supply goes up and its value can drop. And there are a few key things that really affect this balance. For instance, a country that has high interest rates can pull in foreign investors, which, you guessed it, boosts demand for its currency. Low inflation is also a huge deal because it means your money actually holds its value over time. And of course, keeping a tight grip on the money supply and encouraging investment from other countries are absolutely key to keeping a currency strong. So let's see how all of this applies to Kuwait. The number one single biggest factor that's driving the dinar's super high value is oil, the country's black gold engine. Just look at this number, a mind-blowing 90%. That is the chunk of Kuwait's entire government income that comes from selling oil. The country's economy is basically running on this stuff. And we're not talking about a short-term thing here. Kuwait is sitting on something like 6% of the world's total proven oil reserves. At the rate they're going, that's enough to last them for almost another 100 years. That ensures a really steady flow of cash. Now, here's the kicker. This is the crucial part. If you want to buy oil from Kuwait, you absolutely must use Kuwaiti dinars. This one rule creates a constant, massive global demand for their currency. So when you have super high demand and a really controlled supply, you get the perfect recipe for a high-value currency. But hold on, it's not just the oil. Kuwait has also been incredibly strategic in how it manages its currency. The Central Bank of Kuwait takes a really active role in keeping the dinars stable and strong, and they do it through a policy called a managed peg. You can kind of see how they've played their cards over the years. They started way back by pegging the dinar to a secret basket of currencies. Then, for a little while, they switched to a direct peg against the US dollar. But then, in 2007, they switched back to their own special basket. That last move was so important because it gave them way more freedom to protect their own economy from the roller coaster ride of the US dollar. So the result of all this maneuvering is that the dinar is basically shielded from a lot of the wild swings you see in other currencies. By tying it to a basket of currencies from its biggest trading partners, Kuwait makes sure the dinar stays both stable and super valuable. Okay, so now we get it. The dinar has a high price tag because of massive oil demand and some really clever policy. So let's finally go back to our original question and settle this debate. What is the difference between a valuable currency and a powerful one? You know, probably the best way I've seen this explained is to think about currencies like their company stocks. It makes the whole thing click. Check this out. The Kuwaiti Dinar is kind of like a share of Berkshire Hathaway stock. The price for just one share is incredibly high. The US dollar, though, is more like Apple stock. The price for one share is way lower, but its total value, its market cap, is astronomical. The dollar is used in the huge majority of global trade, and it makes up over 60% of all the currency reserves in the world. Now that is power. So if you remember just one thing, let it be this. The Kuwaiti dinar is the world's most valuable currency, if you're just looking at the price of a single unit. But the US dollar is without a doubt the world's most powerful currency because of its massive global influence. And that leaves us with one last question to chew on. If it's not just about the price tag, then what does it really mean for a currency to be strong? Well, at the end of the day, true strength is a combination of everything we've talked about. A high value is great, for sure, but it's the stability and, most of all, that widespread global influence and trust that makes a currency a real powerhouse on the world stage.
And there you have it, the story of the Kuwaiti dinar. I really hope this explainer helped clear things up for you. Hey, what other economic puzzles do you want to see us break down? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, a like and a subscribe would be amazing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.